Here we are, looking at the final book in the Lightbringer series, The Burning White by Brent Weeks. This book came out in 2019 and from what I can tell is hugely divisive amongst people who are fan of the series. And I get that, but let's first talk a little bit about some ratings. And I use the Storygraph instead of Goodreads, because I'm not a fan of Amazon, so that's my solution, is just not using them. And on the Storygraph it stands at a 4.1 based on 4,135 reviews. So respectable numbers, respectable score. Yeah. And if we look at the pacing, well, if we talk about the pacing is said to be a medium pace with 51%, whereas most other people would say fast with about 30% and then slow for the rest. Plot or character driven? Most people say it's a mixture. By far most, nearly 69%, 68%, almost nice. Do we look at strong character development? Yes, we do, with 83%. Do we look at lovable character? Yes, we do, with 72%. Are the cast of characters diverse? Yes, they are, with 77%. And finally, are the flaws of characters a main focus? Yes, they are. So, this book was supposed to come out in 2018, but got delayed by years. I can understand it, because Weeks realized that it was not how he wanted it to be, so he had to rewrite a lot of it. And still, I think this book is a weird read. I understand why it's so divisive. It's really difficult to recommend it based on how odd it just. Okay, let's try. A lot of this book hinges on solving how do we stop the color prints and how do we stop that invasion and how do we tie up all our things, how do we prevent Andros Guile from being too strong, what's gonna happen to Kip, and how are all our characters, how is Caris being the white supposed to work this out here. And the main story is Gavin Guile traveling with a Oralam that got introduced in the previous book, the rover seer thing who took the name Oralam after the god. And it's fine, it's interesting and all that, but no, it's not. It's really, really fucking boring, to be honest. And they're just going up to see, because it's sent on a mission by the old man of the desert, who is what's his name again? Oh my god, names missing. I think there's a character thing here. We go. What yeah, names. I thought there was just gonna be. There we go. Now the question is if we can actually remember. So I want to say we can probably just look up Old Man of the Desert, but I feel like we can't. Third Eye, no. I don't remember him, but he is the slave of Andros Guile. So that's how he stayed so close to everything without being knowing what's going on without actually having to rely on spies, which is super interesting, super neat and all that, but it's a little much. I am trying to find it and I don't think I can. I feel like it's right on the on tip of my tongue, but I can't for the life of me remember his name. That's really, really annoying me, a lot. Oh, there we go. Grimwoody. Andros Guile's head slave, secretary and right hand, worked as a pariah in Legolas before entering Blackguard training. His contract was bought by Andros just before he's wearing his Blackguard. He's secretly the Old Man of the Desert, the head of the Order of the Broken Eye. Yes, there we go. We got there in the end. Who is trying to stop Guard, basically. And that's the thing. This story is about Guard and it's about mirrors. And I normally love Weeks' writing. I think he's an awesome writer. I think he's very good at adding in metaphors and philosophy, and I think he's always interesting, except for in this one. In this one, every single character talks about mirrors as if that's just something they all agreed on doing, and it's really jarring. It was so much better in the other books where all of them would talk about the same concept but from different angles. Here they're all just like, the mirror might show you, it shows you who you want to be, not necessarily it shows you who you are, not who you want to be. Or a mirror when cracked will show you the same thing in multiple angles. Like, they would all repeat the same thing, going on and on and on and on. And it's just a little and that's kind of like why I got so tired reading this book, was just all of them doing that. The story wasn't particularly interesting to me. I think it was really, really lazy. I loved the Kip sections though. I still think Kip is by now one of my all-time favorite main characters. I think he has so much growing to do. Well, he did so much growing, and then it really did leave a sour taste in my mouth that he was not like the Lightbringer properly. He was not the hero. He was literally killed off unceremoniously. I would have preferred it so much more that he was the hero, and that he just, you could still have him lose his colors because that's what you do, but just have him lose his color because he burns out, and he burns out so brightly that the only way they can save him is by removing his eyes or whatever. That would have been awesome. That would have been great. You could have God come and fix that instead of God coming and reviving him after he died. Speaking of God, God is a Deus Ex Machina in this book, and that's really, really annoying because it's basically the final, like, quarter of the, like, not even somewhere between like the quarter and the fifth of the book. The final quarter, fifth book is just God, like Orland, the actual God, and Gavin talking about, like, of course a lot of stuff going on, but the main story is just them talking and Gavin being sent, like, doing trials for him and just agreeing to be his tool or whatever. It's really, really jarring. In general, I feel like this is not a good book. It has a lot of potential, and I still think Brent Weeks is one of my all-time favorite writers. I just don't think this was the book he was meant to write. Or at least that was not in my opinion, how the story should have ended. There is a lot of focus on character growth, character drama. There's a lot of plots that has to be tied up, and it's not easy. I will give him that. He has written so many complex storylines, and there is, up until the end, character development, but it's just, it doesn't feel like anything is, like, everything is resolved, but it doesn't feel like the cast of characters figured out what is actually going on. It feels like a few people knew what was going on, and the rest were just like, whatever, we solved it, no need to continue on. Like, it didn't feel like people learned a lesson. And that was kind of the entire thing with the old guards, was it felt like it was a lesson to be learned there. And then there was stuff like multiverse theory stuff going on, and because the evil guards who has been alluded to, like the insect guard that Kip saw when he got the cards in the, which one was that? Wasn't the Blood Mirror? I think it was Blood Mirror. Like, he played no role. It was so odd. Like, he attacked the Kip, was just like, I figured out how to defeat you for now. Ha ha ha. And then the guy going, I'll get you next time. If it wasn't for you and your fat ass or whatever. Like, come on. The book was not up to par from what I've been come to expect from Brent Weeks. This felt like too many ideas was trying to be done at the same time. Not even too many stories. There's too many ideas for the stories he's got going. Because it really felt like he had written himself into a corner. And even with, I think, 900 something pages, I think he failed at getting out. Yeah, 900 and I think 80 or something. 969, it seems nice. Yeah, it just felt not quite. 900 and... Okay, never mind. 944 pages. It really felt like he did not have enough for that. It felt like he needed at least this much more. So yeah, do I think this was a good book? Not particularly. Am I happy I finished the series? Absolutely. Am I gonna read every other Brent Weeks book? Oh yeah, he's still one of my favorite authors. So yeah, leave a like, comment and subscribe. Next video we'll be talking about the entire series and my thoughts on it overall. We're not gonna go too deep, it's not gonna be a very long video. And then after that we're going back to our roots with Ranger's Apprentice. So see ya.